Today was a final goodbye, an outpouring of support for a civil rights icon. Hundreds filed into the state capitol today to say their farewells to Reverend C.T. Vivian. A horse-drawn carriage carried Reverend Vivian's body through the city's Sweet Auburn neighborhood.
The carriage ride ended at the King Center ahead of tomorrow's funeral. CBS 46's Brittany Miller live at Providence Missionary Baptist Church with more on the tribute tomorrow for Reverend Vivian. Brittany.
And as you just mentioned, that funeral will be here at Providence Missionary Baptist Church starting at 11 a.m. tomorrow. But today, for 5.5 hours, so many people got a chance to pay their final respects to the civil rights pioneer. The sacrifice of a civil rights leader recognized. His legacy remembered as the city of Atlanta and the state of Georgia publicly honored the late minister C.T. Vivian Wednesday.
You changed Georgia. You changed America.
His casket first arriving at the state capitol, Georgia's flag draped over it, as Governor Brian Kemp sat with the Vivian family. After 3 hours of lying in state, bagpipes led the Trailblazers' casket to a horse-drawn carriage where he was carried through the streets of Atlanta. Many watching silently on the sidewalks.
We wouldn't even have the opportunity to vote if it wasn't for them to march and fight for that.
We'll walk hand in hand.
The procession made its way past the Southern Christian Leadership Conference office, where Vivian was the national director in the 60s, organizing protests, sit-ins, and becoming a student of nonviolence.
And I remember sitting in Selma with him, and he told us about when he got hit in the face and how he stood back up. And he said, "What kind of people are you?" And he said, "Just use your mind and stay nonviolent."
SCLC Field Director William Marshall says he worked with Reverend Vivian on the front lines. But today, he followed closely behind the icon, his final freedom ride.
He was the most gentle spirit that I've ever come across. I'll never forget him.
And none of us will ever forget C.T. Vivian. That procession ended at the King Center. As we know, Vivian was a close advisor to Dr. King as they worked together in this endless fight for freedom. We are live in Southwest Atlanta tonight. Brittany Miller, CBS 46 News.
Thank you, Brittany. Again, C.T. Vivian's funeral will take place tomorrow at the Providence Missionary Baptist Church. The service is private, but anyone who wants to can watch a live stream of the event. And plans for a similar celebration of life underway for the late Congressman John Lewis. He and Reverend Vivian actually passed away on the same day, last Friday. We're told Lewis's arrangements will be announced after Reverend Vivian is laid to rest.